Hey guys, welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 2 makeup products from some of my favorite brands, as well as the worst 2 products from those same brands that I think are just not so great that you should definitely skip on. This video is also super exciting because it is in collaboration with my friend Mel Thompson. I see so many of you guys mention her in my comments all the time, so I do feel like a lot of you guys already watch her, but if you haven't, she is absolutely amazing. She is a certified makeup artist. I could literally watch her blend eyeshadow forever. It's just like total goals, so she is super talented for sure. I do think you guys would absolutely love her channel as well, so don't forget to check out her video. She is going to be doing the exact same thing, her top 2 and her bottom 2 from her favorite brands. If you're here from Mel's channel, hello, my name is Jenna. It is so nice to meet you. Thanks for clicking on this video and checking out my channel. And without further ado, let's get on to my top 2 picks and my top bottom picks from my favorite brands. The first brand I'm going to be talking about is Tom Ford. This is one of my favorite all-time luxury brands. It is definitely a brand that you think luxury when you think of his name, which is awesome. The first thing I think is absolutely amazing from his line, and definitely something that everybody should own, is actually his lip color line. This is just the lip color original line. This one is in the shade Sable Smoke, and I also have the shade Indian Rose. Both of these are gorgeous, you guys. They're creamy, they're super nice, beautiful coverage on the lips. They last a long time as well, so for that price tag, you're going to get a lot of wear and a lot of love out of it, which is awesome. And Sable Smoke is like my perfect nude, you guys. It is so pretty. I mean, the pigmentation is amazing. And then Indian Rose, I'm just gonna swatch right beside. It is so pretty, you guys. This one as well, it's a really nice, gorgeous, pink color. Still kind of in the nude category, I would say. It's a really nice, everyday wear type of lipstick. But these lipsticks are definitely super amazing, and I absolutely think is one of the top products from his line. My next top favorite is actually probably something that might surprise you. Just so you guys know, I haven't tried his bronzers yet. I have heard amazing things from his bronzers, so I can't comment on that. So maybe that would have taken the top spot. But this is the Tom Ford Sheer Highlighting Duo in the shade Reflex Gilt. This is so pretty, you guys. This is an amazing highlighter. As you can see, it's pretty messy. I have used it a ton, especially the top shade there. It's really beautiful. And this just makes the skin look stunning. I do think this is a unique highlight. If you're a little bit more fair than myself, you can definitely do the bottom shade here with a blush topper if you wanted. It's so pretty, and of course the packaging is the stunning white packaging, which is amazing. Now let's get into the bottom 2, and you guys, again, this was so painful. It's these aren't bad products, but I'll tell you why they made the bottom 2. The first one is his private eyeshadows. These are his little mini single eyeshadows. The reason why I put them on the bottom is because they're so small and they're single that they're really often lost in my collection, so I don't have an easy time remembering to use them. And the second thing is the packaging. So the packaging is obviously going to be the same kind of idea as the quads, except the quads have 4 shadows and they're definitely bigger compact, so they're easier to see. Whereas these are, you've got your bottom little clip that you have to click down, and then you click this one upward, which isn't a big deal, but it's an extra step to do. And then you see you have the shade in there. So these are definitely very luxury when it comes to price tag. So I do think that this is more of a luxury makeup lover type item, because you are gonna pay quite a bit for one single shadow that is small and often a little bit difficult to get at. Over these guys, I'd probably recommend the quads a heck of a lot more, just because you are getting the 4 shades and they're in that bigger compact, so you're able to see them and grab them and be able to have your look kind of set out right in front of you. They're a little bit easier to use that way. But the product itself, you guys, is so good. It's just the packaging that has put it at the bottom for me. The last thing that I'm going to say is in the bottom of my list for Tom Ford is actually this Ultra Shine lip gloss. The reason why I say it is because it is really just an average gloss in my opinion. For its price tag, it's just a solid average product. So very pigmented gloss. I do think it is beautiful that way. It is right beside Sable Smoke, which is right on the far left. This is a really nice gloss, you guys, but it is a little bit sticky, and I do think that for the price tag, I would have preferred a doe foot. That is just my preference over a brush applicator. And I also think that it's just average, very pigmented, but I have other pigmented glosses from other brands that I think are just a little bit smoother, not as sticky. So this one is unfortunately at the bottom. The next brand that is definitely in my top 10 favorite brands of all time is definitely La Mer. And you guys, the top two just screamed out at me. It was so easy for me to pick these two. The first one is the Soft Fluid Longwear Foundation. This, you guys, is my ultimate favorite foundation of all time. It is so nice when I want to do like a very important event or something like that. This is the foundation I am using. It is expensive, but it's worth it. This is the second bottle of this shade that I have, and as you can see, I almost need to replace it because it is so good. It's like a gorgeous soft creaminess when you apply it to the skin. It blends out really beautifully. It's incredibly nice with the coverage. It's not going to be a super full or a light. It's more of like a true medium. I think that this is the cream of the crop of this brand. Like this, I think personally is the top thing that La Mer has. The second favorite from La Mer's line is actually the powder. So this is actually the new powder. This isn't the old formulated powder. I had never actually got to try the old formula, so I can't compare the two. But what I can say is that this is a gorgeous product. I love it. I feel like for the price tag, yes, it's pricey, but you get a lot of product in it, so it's lasting a long time on me. And it's super luxe with its like gorgeous little fluffy poof. And then you have the powder itself. So, whew, it just like came in my face a little bit. But anyways, this keeps my skin looking gorgeous. It's definitely, if you put a lot, it will give you more of a mattified finish. But I just put a little bit and it just like sets my makeup beautifully and still lets me have like my glowy products show through. Because that's the biggest thing when it comes to powders for me. I really want them to still have that luminous effect to my skin because I love glowy skin. So this is definitely in my top two for sure from the brand. Now let's talk about the bottom two from the brand. The first thing is the Eye Balm Intense. Now this is something that I decided to put in here because I spent a pretty penny on this guy and I have a really hard time using it because it absolutely stinks. That's just my opinion. It smells like kind of like clay. For a product this expensive and this stinky, I want my eyes to look nice and moisturized and hydrated, and this doesn't do any better of a job compared to some of my other eye creams that I absolutely love that don't smell like this. The next thing that has made my bottom two when it comes to La Mer is actually the La Mer Concealer, and this is just called the La Mer Concealer, I believe. And this is one that was $100, like 100 Canadian dollars to purchase, and it is just okay to me. So it's not necessarily a standout product for the price. When I was deciding like the worst things from these brands, a lot of the time it was, you know, what is not best suited for me necessarily, but could be better suited for others, and price for like the quality that you're getting, basically. So this is, like I said, not a bad concealer. It is definitely more of like a light to medium concealer. It's certainly not a full coverage, but it is quite pricey for what it is. Next, let's talk about Chanel. So Chanel is one of my favorite beauty brands, and this is a gloss, you guys, that I have worn so much. I feel like it's definitely in the top two for the brand for me. This is the Rouge Cocoa Gloss. This is in the shade 716 Caramel. This is a gorgeous gloss, you guys. It's got a doe foot applicator. It's like the perfect pigmentation. It's not sticky. It looks super natural on the lips, and when you first apply it, it just looks glossy and plump and hydrated. It's so good. Of course, the packaging with like the Chanel like double C kind of on the bottom there is so good, like such a good touch. So this is this gloss here, just kind of swatched on my hand. It's super nice. Again, very pigmented. This is about 2 swipes and a really comfortable gloss formula, so I absolutely love this. The next product in my top two from Chanel is definitely the Soleil de Tan bronzer. This is just amazing. This is a gorgeous bronzer, and it's like a cream to powder kind of finish. It's super nice, and you get a lot of it. It lasts a long time. This looks new or barely touched, but I've actually used quite a bit of it. So you can see like kind of in the center, it's a little bit lighter. That's like the part that I've used, and the outside is like untouched so far, but one of these will last a long time. This is super nice as well. Like very innovative. I think a standout from Chanel. Now let's get to the bottom two from the brand, and this one was really hard, you guys, like really hard. The first one I'm going to say is actually the Longwear Powder Eyeshadow line, specifically like these singles. I don't really, this is pretty old school, but I don't like the shadows that have like the little spongy applicator. Maybe for good on the go and stuff, but I rarely use these. So to me, they're kind of like useless space from these compacts. I really wish that they had used more of this compact up with like the shade itself. So the packaging on these is just a little bit odd and not my favorite. Honestly, I feel like it's a lot of a waste of plastic. So that is my first thing with the packaging. The second thing is the eyeshadows themselves. They're really nice, but they're powdery, so more of a powdered finish than some of my other shadows that I have. It's a little bit sad, but they're just okay eyeshadows to me. The next product is actually one that I've already decluttered, so I don't have it in my collection anymore, so I'll just put a picture of it. This is the Soleil de Tan by Chanel, the illuminating fluid version. So this is the fluid version of this product, and I do think that this product is way better than the fluid version. The fluid version to me is often a little bit more messy, so the applicator is just like a little bit of an opening. It's not a pump or anything. If you're into like illuminating fluids, then you'll probably like that one over the Bronze Universal base, which is this guy. So it's just up to you and your preferences, but that one unfortunately has just also made my bottom because it's something I rarely use that I just decluttered. Now let's talk about the next brand. The next brand that is definitely in my top 10 is HOURGLASS. I love their brand, you guys. So the first product that is in my top 2 from them is, of course, their Veil Setting Powder. This is so pretty. It's a translucent setting powder and it is creamy, it's smooth, it's so nice on the skin. Looks so beautiful. The packaging fits everything. This is something that if you love HOURGLASS, you need in your collection. And if you don't love HOURGLASS, you still need in your collection. This is definitely rivaling my La Mer powder. I do love both of them for different reasons, but both of them make the skin look flawless, and it's actually one of their newer releases as well, so that is awesome. The next product that has made my top 2 from HOURGLASS is the Unlocked palette. This is incredibly reflective. You can definitely see my computer screen in the reflection there, and this is so nice. Like, oh, do you die? The beautiful powders in here are stunning. They are a little bit of a different look than the other like ambient lighting edit palettes. These ones don't necessarily have as much of the mosaic kind of look to them. These are just some of the softest powders I have ever used. I think that this one is definitely ideal for light to medium skin tones. I just love how all of these powders perform. So this is definitely something I've been diving into. It is no longer available, which literally breaks my heart because this is so nice. So the first product that has made my bottom 2 from HOURGLASS is no longer in my collection, and this is the Opaque Rouge Liquid Lipstick. This is a liquid lipstick that I really wasn't impressed in. Although there was a lot of pigmentation to it, as it dried down, it was really drying, and that is something that, you know, personally, it just really deters me from using a liquid lipstick because they're just so drying on the lips. I have very few liquid lipstick products that I love, and this one is certainly not it, unfortunately. The next thing that didn't really make the cut either is actually one of their ambient edit palettes, and this is my least favorite out of all of their releases. So this is the one that comes in the marble packaging. This is the ambient lighting edit in the SURREAL light version. Some of these powders are super nice, and some of them are not so much. These are just a little bit more powdery, a little bit more dry compared to some of the other releases that are much more worth it. So this one unfortunately made the bottom 2 from the brand. Next, let's talk about Dior, and this is so exciting, you guys. It was really hard to narrow down the top 2 favorites from this brand. I really love a lot of their Backstage collection stuff. That was really nice. The first one from the top 2 that did make the cut is actually the Backstage highlighting palette. This is actually in my top 5 highlighters of the year. It is so good, you guys. I talked about this nonstop, so I won't talk about it too much again. But I absolutely love the 2 highlights. In the top here is a beautiful icy white. Then we have a gorgeous like golden color. It is so beautiful. We also have a beautiful like glowy blush as well, which is right in the bottom left. It is so stunning. I still think they're all super high quality. This is a showstopper in their line right now. I do think that you absolutely need it if you don't have it. If Dior is one of Mel's top 10 favorites, I do think she's probably gonna say Hollow Pink will be her top 2 or the top product from that brand because I know she loves it, but I haven't tried it yet. It's crazy. I I haven't been able to find it, so definitely inquire within if you're able to find that product for me. I think it's at Nordstrom, but I don't know if it's on like the Canadian side of Nordstrom. So I'm just like, I need to know where to get this because apparently it's amazing, but I don't have it. So my other second favorite, because I haven't experienced this hollow pink color, is actually one of the Dior Skin Nude Air Luminizers. This is one of their highlights. This is like amazing. I absolutely love it. Again, it has nude embossed in the powder there. It is stunning. It's a gorgeous champagne. Like it's really, really nice. This is one that is a beautiful everyday highlighter. I think it just like accents the skin so well. It's a perfect champagne color, but it doesn't emphasize texture. It doesn't like streak really easily. You can like layer this like multiple times over and it still looks amazing on the skin. It's like basically foolproof. I love this. And they also have a lot of different shades in here to like accommodate different skin tones. It's just so, so good. Now let's get to the bottom two from this line. And again, this is just a preference thing. These are not bad products. The first thing is the lip maximizers from Dior. These are the tingly products that you use on your lips. They're supposed to kind of plump them up, make them look a little bit more full. And personally, I don't use these types of things because A, I don't see a big difference, and B, it's uncomfortable for me to wear, so I just don't wear these. So that is why this is on the bottom, because it's just not something I'm reaching for. The tingling piece is not a selling feature for me. If it is, and those are products you love, then I do think this might be a really good choice for you. But for me, they're just not my favorite, so this is definitely on the bottom. The second thing on the bottom that I've tried from the brand is actually, I think this is limited edition. I haven't seen this little guy around in a while, but the packaging drew me to this little bad boy before. It's so pretty and so cute. This is the Diorific Matte Fluid product. That's what it says. It's in the shade 001. This is incredibly interesting. It does dry down matte, as you know from the title. And this is what it looks like on the skin here. So it's really, really nice. But again, when it dries down, it can dry down kind of like that. Your skin feels quite dry, quite matte. It's a little bit gritty. That is why I've decided to say this is at the bottom, even though I wish that it really wasn't, because the packaging is so luxe and so gorgeous. Like this looks like a nail polish versus a lip color. The next brand that has definitely made my top 10 is definitely Marc Jacobs. This was a no-brainer for me. There's definitely quite a few products that I love from him, but the first one is definitely the Tan-tastic Bronzer. This is one of the standout products in his line, in my opinion. This product is one of the best bronzers I have ever used for sure, and I just think the shade of this is just perfect. So there's definitely a reason why this was sold out so much back then when it was first released. Now it's permanent and it's awesome. So this is what this one looks like here, you guys. It is like super big mirror, super big compact there. It's so, so good. Definitely worth the money as well. And this is super pigmented, very easy to blend out. This is a great bronzer for beginners too. Like if you're wanting a luxury bronzer, I think this will be one that will last you forever and it'll just be so, so good. The next thing I wanted to share is actually the Omega eyeshadows. These are the like really big panned eyeshadows. There aren't that many shades in here yet, but the quality of these shades, you guys, is so, so good. Really, really nice and pigmented, but smooth and creamy. These are so big that they're like easy to grab in my collection and I remember to use them. So I love that. Of course, the packaging is super nice and luxe and just like weighty. So love that about this one. And if you haven't tried these Omega shadows, you need to. They are so, so good. I will say that one of the bottom products that I have ever worn from him is actually the Shameless foundation. So for me, I thought that the foundation was not like super brutal, but it was definitely one that was really high maintenance. You had to really make sure it wasn't settling into any lines. It was one that was really full coverage, which was a nice strength if you like full coverage, but it had to be set and it was difficult to blend out. So it's one of those ones where if you love the finished look of it and you don't mind going through all of the hassle, then it is absolutely worth it. But for me, I don't want to have to work that hard to make something look good. So that's definitely the first one. The second one is actually from my existing collection. This is something that I was a little bit like, they're okay, but could be better. These are the Enamored like gloss sticks So I guess Marc Jacobs decided to make like his really award-winning enamored glosses into a stick form. It's cheap plastic. I don't mind that you have to roll these up. So these are click, like as you can see, they click the product up and they don't click the product back down. So that's a little bit frustrating. I do like the one from Sephora collection because it's one that you push, like a push button, and the price tag is a heck of a lot cheaper for what it is. This is actually pretty pricey for what it is, and the Sephora collection packaging one is way better for way less money. So that's why I would say that out of everything, I think they could have done these a heck of a lot better. The packaging could have been way better. Not the highlights of his line, definitely towards the bottom, so that's why this is one of the bottom for Marc Jacobs. Next, I want to talk about the brand that was single-handedly the hardest one to choose anything for. This is Charlotte Tilbury, and you guys know if you've been around, I love her line. I think she has a lot of really nice products. So the top two were just the two that I decided to pick that I reach for every single day. So I love a lot of her stuff, but again, these top two products are products that I really feel like I can't live without, and I use them pretty well every day, so that's how I knew. The first one is her Airbrush Flawless Finishing Powder. I've gone through these like water, you guys. My favorite pressed powder is definitely this one. This one just looks so good. Again, packaging is rose gold, beautiful, love that. And as you can see, I'm almost needing to replace it once again. So this is super good. I actually have both the fair version, which is this one, and the medium version when I have some color to my skin. I love a product that much to get multiple shades. It's just kind of like an obvious reason why it would be in the top for me. So definitely this one. The next thing from her line that I would say is in the top two for me is definitely the Light Wonder foundation. This, you guys, I have been using as well so much. I think this is rivaling my La Mer, but it's not the same. So it's still just as amazing, beautiful on the skin. Love that it's lightweight and stuff. The La Mer is a touch creamier. So it's definitely worth its luxury price tag for sure, and I do think they're not the same because of that, but how they perform, really close. I love a glowy foundation. I love a foundation that you can see the majority of my skin through. So like a light to medium where it's like buildable, that is my absolute favorite foundations. I have owned it very little time and I'm running through it really quickly. So that is always a good sign. Now let's get to the bottom two from her line. The first one was the most obvious one to me, and that is their lip glosses. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury lip gloss in the shade High Society. This is like really sticky, unfortunately. I think her glosses have really let me down. The shades themselves are nice, but this is one of the stickiest glosses I think I have ever used. I can't even really swatch it on my hand without it like pulling on my skin. Like that's how sticky it is. It's just something else, honestly. So for that reason, it's just one that I'm like, you guys definitely skip on. Kind of regret buying this actually, so I would steer clear from these. The next thing is actually just one of those like average products that I think you can definitely skip on when you're looking at her line. This is the Collagen Lip Bath, and this is like a clear gloss. So it is actually a lot better than this gloss here. The Collagen Lip Bath is not sticky at all. It's definitely glossy and stuff like that, but you do run through the product pretty easily. So that is something that I've noticed. You need a lot of it to kind of get the desired effect, and it is just like an average gloss. So I don't think it's as standout as like the price tag would suggest. Yeah, like if you have a clear gloss that you love, you don't necessarily need this. So this is why this is on the bottom as well. Next, let's talk about Too Faced. So Too Faced is actually a brand that I do own a lot from. So the first thing that I think has made the absolute top two from Too Faced is the Better Than Sex mascara. This is like award-winning. This is awesome. It's a really nice wide bristled wand. So I love that. I do think this is one that if you're not careful, you can overdo, but I do think that if you like learn how to use it, like the medium level, it just like fans out your lashes so well. It's just so good. The best thing from their line that I've ever tried so far is definitely the Gingerbread Spice palette. This is one, you guys, that I am so happy that I own. This I think was one of their holiday releases that I don't know if they're going to bring back, unfortunately. So I think it is limited edition, and that's really too bad because this is so pretty. I just think all of these shades are perfect. They're super good for beginners as well. Like they're pigmented, but they're blendable, and that's what I really love. This is scented, but ever so subtly. So it's not like the, you know, the peachy palettes that they have where it's like a punch in the face of scent, and it can almost get a bit irritating if you're not enjoying the scent. So I do love that this is scented, but it's like tasteful. When it comes to the bottom two for Too Faced, you guys, the first one was so obvious to me that I had made a huge mistake when I purchased it. The makeup product I'm talking about is the Melted Latex Lipsticks. Oh my goodness, I am so thankful I got this at a discount at TJ Maxx because yikes. It's a really pigmented product, but that's it. I can't even think of another strength. Like that's literally it. It's like spreading glue on your lips. And then when it dries, which is forever, it starts to like accentuate lines. And you're like, this is really not good. So definitely, guys, steer clear. I think they're on sale now, and that's probably for good reason. The last thing that I would say is definitely on the bottom of Too Faced brand is a palette that I literally picked up and I was like, wow, I am so surprised at how bad this actually is considering the popularity of the peach palette from Too Faced. So the palette I'm talking about is the white peach palette. This is one that like beyond upset me when it came to quality. It was just not like what I was used to from Too Faced. I had recently picked up the Just Peachy Mattes and I love that palette as well. And I went over and when they announced the white peach palette, I was like, awesome. There's some cool shades in here. It's going to be really, really great. Like it's a cooler palette versus the peach palette that's like a little bit warmer. So I was like, yes, this is going to be amazing. It's really not. I couldn't believe it. It was really, really dusty, powdery, harder to blend, lacked pigmentation. It kind of like blended away as you were blending it out. It was just like such a mess. So unfortunately, white peach, definitely in the bottom two from Too Faced. Okay, let's talk about the next brand. The next brand is Anastasia Beverly Hills. I love this brand as well. And I do have two very clear, distinct favorites. It was a little bit difficult to decide between like a lot of it, but then I realized these two things are definitely the top two. The first one is the Brow Wiz from her line. This is a holy grail product, you guys. I use it every day. I run through these. Probably the single most repurchased item in my collection so far, I would say in the last year, has been this. The next thing in the top two is definitely a palette. This, I think, to this day is the best palette they have ever done. It's such a shame that it was limited edition, though. This is the Master Palette by Mario. The color story is exactly me. Like when you see Everyday Jenna in a palette, it's this. Like that deep green and that deep blue are just like perfect. They're not like intimidating colors. They're just like pops of color and they're very, very easy to use. I do love Modern Renaissance, Soft Glam, Sultry, all of these other ones, but this one, to me, still the best one they've made. From all of the things that I've tried from Anastasia's line, I would say the worst product for sure, one of the worst anyway, is the stick foundation. Like it clung to any dryness I had on my skin. It was really crazy because my skin is like normal to oily, so I don't actually have a lot of dryness to it, and it just like somehow found it and emphasized it. It emphasized any lines on my skin, which was really bad. As I was applying it, like no matter which way, it just seemed to always look cakey and like heavy on the skin, so I didn't like that. The last thing is also one that I know is a popular product, so please don't hate me. But this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipsticks. These for me have fallen short so much, and it's because of a number of different things. The first thing, I'm not a liquid lipstick lover that dries out my lips so intensely. These dry out my lips so bad. It is absolutely insane. I feel like I have to like really balm up my lips, like just put tons of lip balm on for it to look even half decent. And even then, it's like moving around. It's like all over my lips. It's just something that I'm like, you know what? No. I do have two shades in this as well where I'm like, I really wanted to make these work, but unfortunately they're very drying and a little bit high maintenance, so that's why I've decided to say these are definitely amongst the worst I've ever tried. We are finally on the last brand. I'm so happy. It is NATASHA DENONA, of course. I have two standout favorites for sure, and one will actually really surprise you. So the first one is the LILA palette. This is gorgeous. This is one of her eyeshadow palettes I think you absolutely need. I did give this away in my recent holiday giveaway because I think that it's like too good to not share with you. Like it's so good. I love the color story in here. It's like a gorgeous purple range. I think this is really high quality as well. The mattes are really good. The shimmers are good. This is just like an all over like outstanding palette from her, so I love this one. The next palette that has made the top 2 from Natasha Denona is actually one that I almost didn't get. And thanks to you guys peer pressuring me, I was able to get this, and I do not regret it because I still think this is one of the best palettes she has ever done. This is the Natasha Denona Gold palette, and this is her most recent big palette release, I believe. This, you guys, is something that I just love. It's like a variety of golds, which I didn't think I would like, and that's why I almost decided to pass on this. But these are just so stunning. They're different golds, different finishes. I think that for the price tag, there's enough like versatility and uniqueness to make it worth it. So definitely love this one. Now let's get to the bottom 2 products of Natasha's line. This is just, again, my personal opinion. And I do think the first one is good for some people, but if you're looking for like her high quality shadow formula, this will fall short for you. And this is the Mini Sunset palette. This is not bad by any means. Like, they're still nice shadows. I do have to blend them out a little bit more than her high quality version, like her big palettes. She did kind of say that they function like the shades in Sunset, like the big one. I would disagree. I do think that these are a little bit of a lower quality. I don't necessarily hate it, like I said, but it's just one that will fall short if you're looking for like her full quality product. The last product that I would say is the worst from Natasha Denona is just for like a packaging kind of issue for me. That's literally the only reason. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Blush and Glow, and because it's mini, that's why I would say it's on the bottom. The highlighter in here is stunning. The blush in here is stunning, but there's a reason why I don't grab this a lot, and that's partially because the pans are so small. I do think that they could be bigger, but I get why she was trying to make them this small, like for travel purposes. I would rather just get a full size of the highlight and then a full size of the blush. She has recently come out with a Diamond and Glow product. I think it's going to be the exact same size as this, so I'm definitely steering clear away. It doesn't fit my taste. Anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much to Mel for collabing with me. This was one of the most impossible videos to ever decide on. Like, all of the items here just took me a long time. I told her the other day that I've never thought this hard since university, so thank you very much. Anyways, don't forget to check out her video. It will be amazing. I can't wait to see what she picked out as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up so I know, and don't forget to subscribe if you guys haven't been here before. I would love to see you guys again. Until my next one, guys, take care. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!
You and me, everything that we've been through has made us strong. You won't believe we've had our gray, but somewhere there's a light inside of us. It shows the